so strong. It's amazing what is given when we share a song. This is what we sing, what we lift our voice, what we stand as one in harmony. This is what we sing, what we lift our voice. Take my hand and sing with me. Sing the song and the heart. Bring together lives that have been torn apart. Share joy, find a friend. It's a never-ending loop that circles back again. This is why we sing, why we lift our voice, why we stand as one in harmony. This is why
Give it up for the PSL High School Jaguar Band. Port St. Lucie, in the words of Etta James, at last. Good morning, everybody. On behalf of Vice Mayor Martin, Councilwoman Carballo, Councilwoman Morgan, Councilman Dr. Carvelli, on behalf of Russ Blackburn, our 1,150 employees, our more than 200,000 citizens of Port St. Lucie, like to welcome you to a celebration 40 years in the making, the grand opening of your Crosstown Bridge. We're so glad you're here, and we'd like to acknowledge many elected officials and appointed officials and some very special guests. You know, in politics, sometimes we think we're on the battlefield, but we're not on the battlefield like Congressman Mast. But this is the most perilous duty at a special event, recognizing all of the dignitaries. So I've gotten a lot of this side already. Please forgive me if I make a mistake along the way, but please welcome Congressman Brian Mast, James Christian of Florida Highway Administration, Gale Force Harrell of the Florida Senate, Jerry Luck of the Irish O'Reilly, District 4 Secretary, FDOT. You already know Russ, and you probably know Patricia Roebling, because she's the city engineer that's been working so hard on this project. We got a Frank Knott over there. He's a project manager. Rachel Back, Randy Scott. This is the project team. All right, let's go out to the audience. He's looking down. He's making sure he looks perfect. Your representative, Toby Overdorf. I'm told that one chairwoman of the county commission is here. I see her. She's giving me the look. Linda Bortz. Commissioner Sean Mitchell. Commissioner Kathy Townsend. Pinto A, County Administrator. Pinto A means playing into action, everybody. Howard Tipton. Now there we go, we're back. Linda Hudson, is she here? She told me she wasn't gonna make it, but she's highlighted. So she could be out there. Mayor of Fort Pierce. Joe Smith, Clerk of Circuit Court. Michelle Franklin, everybody. If you want higher property values, you can talk to her. To get out the vote, talk to your Gertrude Walker, Supervisor of Elections. Chairman Deborah Hawley of the St. Lucie County School Board. My friend Laura Moss, coming all the way from the city of Vero Beach, showing that we are a Treasure Coast region. We got a city attorney. He takes care of the legal problems, James Stokes. The guy that rolled up his sleeves and helped make sure we are ready along with our whole army, Jesus Merejo. I just want, is everyone here familiar with Siri on your iPhone? If you say, hey Siri, call Jesus Merejo, Siri replies back, calling Jesus Mary Jo. I'm serious. Longtime councilwoman, I believe former Mayor Shirley Conti. Former councilwoman Jane Rowley. My uncle, many of your uncles, Jack Kelly. I say uncle, he's former vice mayor. Our longtime councilwoman, Michelle Berger. Peter Too Tall Buckwald of the Treasure. There he is, the TPO right there. St. Lucie TPO. Oh, there. He's going to have one of these coming up, especially when we get the signage on that Tradition Hospital. Rob Lord of your Cleveland Clinic. And of course, right up front, as is appropriate, we have the England family with the matriarch Kay England and her family. The bridge is named the Walter B. England III Bridge. This is his family. Give them a big round of applause. Hang that thought. Yeah, we were working as a team. They're covering me. They don't want me to mess this up. We're still going because we got Ken and we have Ken Pruitt. Somewhere out there we have Catherine Hensley, the school board. There she is. Oh, and right next to her we have the chief from the sheriff's office, Gary Wilson. We got the one and only Franny Hutchinson of the St. Lucie County Commission. Can't forget her. I think there's an island named after her. You can never forget Franny. We got Patricia Christensen, former mayor. And Karen Ostrand. Where's Karen at? There's another Ocean Breeze. The treasure, showing once again we're on the Treasure Coast. Jack Downey of the St. Lucie West Services District and the Budget Advisory Committee. You got anyone else? We can't thank everyone's mom, but I'm the mayor. I get to thank Tanya Orbeck, Caitlin Orbeck, Christian Orbeck, and Alexander Gregory Orbeck. Came all the way from USF. Look at that guy. All right. All right, so we'll go to the record, make sure, and if I missed you, I'm so sorry. Thank you for being here. We just want to thank everyone for being here. There's a lot of champions with us. It took us a while to get through, which is fitting because getting to this moment wasn't quick and easy. It took every single one of you and you. Accordingly, please, everyone accept our thanks and applause. Additionally, if you were with us for the groundbreaking ceremony back in 2017, May of 2017, Jane, you were here, Jane Rowley. You know that we paid homage to some of our pioneering champions, people who played a special role in getting this project off the ground. People like Mayor Bob Minsky, Mayor Patricia Christensen, former City Manager Don Cooper, former Senate President Ken Pruitt, and the Crosstown Bridge's namesake, longtime city engineer Walter B. England. And people like current city engineer Patricia Roebling, Vice Mayor Jack Kelly. And hey, if you like the art going up on the bridge, and if you'd like to see Guy Harvey, the official artwork of the city, know that it takes champions like Councilwoman Michelle Berger to say, yes, we should do something like that, so that one day it could be on our most important monument. So let's give them all a round of applause. Let's also pay special thanks to the project partners who helped us pay for the bridge. And I'm a little old-fashioned, and I've often looked at a 50-50 investment as a mark of a good partnership, but we were really lucky with this project. With Crosstown, we had some partners that really stepped up to the plate. We have federal and state partners who were amazing. The Federal Highway Administration funded about half of the bridge, and our Florida Department of Transportation funded a quarter. We can't thank them, their agencies, their staff, the legislators who appropriate their budgets, the Gail Harrells of the world, and of course, speaking about Gail, our state legislative delegation, and with Congressman Mash right here, our federal delegation. Let's give them a big round of applause. Doesn't happen without the money and without them. Since that groundbreaking, and we're ahead of schedule, by the way, in May of 2017, you may have heard me talk about Crosstown, liken it to a multi-generational relay race. And I think that metaphor still stands. The current council and I, our team, we feel very fortunate that we've been able and trusted with the anchor leg of that race. And thanks to a lot of people working hard, smart, and together, including a contractor in Archer Western who has performed with excellence, we stand at the finish line. And at the completion of this program, we're gonna run out to the foot of the bridge and cross a very literal finish line together. But first, we got to get to the program. And in Port St. Lucie, meetings are run by the chair, the mayor. So regardless of what you may see here, I'm gonna say what's next. And I'm gonna say that what's next is the presentation of colors.
All uniformed personnel, present up.
Colors posted. At this time, I'd like to invite Alexis Benning-Gannon, I've known her since she was about this tall, to sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Thank you, Alexis. Thank you so much. And next up, I'd like to ask our 2019 St. Lucie County Boys and Girls Club Youth of the Year winner, Kayla Williams, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and thanks for all. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you bow your heads and join me in prayer? God, we come to you today with grateful hearts. God, we are grateful for the city of Port St. Lucie and all of its residents. God, we're also grateful for all of our city officials who provide exceptional leadership for us. And God, we're thankful for our law enforcement and our first responders who keep us safe. But specifically today, God, we come to you with grateful hearts for the Crosstown Extension Parkway. and for the careful design and plan that was implemented to provide safe new infrastructure for our city. God, we come to you today to ask that this bridge would provide traffic relief, that it would provide congestion relief for the traffic in our city. Also that it would provide just overall enhancement in mobility for our visitors and for our residents and also for our first responders. And God, we also pray for safety for all road users who will be utilizing this roadway, including pedestrians and cyclists and motorcyclists. And finally, God, we pray for continued success and prosperity for our great city, Port St. Lucie. And we pray all this in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor. All right, the floor is yours, Commander.
All uniform personnel, order, arms. Recover.
Please be seated. So there's so many people to thank on a day like today. And as I introduce Congressman Brian Mast of District 18, our representative in District 18 of the House of Representatives, I'm looking at Navy veteran and champion of everything Port St. Lucie, Fred Cook. Give him a big round of applause. Fred Cook is the kind of guy that if you have an Art and All That Jazz show in a parking lot of the Village Green Shopping Center before it was torn down and it's flooded at 3 o'clock in the morning, you got a show the next day, he picks up a shovel and digs a ditch. That's the kind of guy Fred Cook is. Fred, I love you. So with no further ado, Congressman Brian Mast.
Mayor, you spent all your time thanking everybody else, but I think we can all agree we owe you a huge thank you. You bleed Port St. Lucie each and every day. You're out here. I see you in Washington. I see you around the community. I see you everywhere, putting every moment of your time and effort. You define what it is to be an American, which is we take every bit of our grit and our tenacity and our fortitude, and we exhaust ourselves fully in the projects that we deem necessary and important, and that's exactly what our mayor does. And on top of that, he's one of the 3 best-looking people in St. Lucie County. Between him and Deputy Chief of Police Rich Del Toro and somebody else, just a really good-looking group of people here. And to each and every one of you that made this happen, well done.
Thank you, sir. The only true thing that you said was that I was good looking, but really, every day, you know this is one of the things I love about you. Every day is a day that we should fill with gratitude and gratefulness, and I'm grateful, of course, for my family, for this team right here, which is the best team I've ever been a part of in a professional life that's now going on 24 years, and of course, to be able to serve this public. And I know that a lot of people up here feel the same way, and I think that next dedicated public servant is Jamie Christian, our division administrator for the Federal Highway Administration.
Thank you. It's really a thrill to be part of this celebration. I'm up in Tallahassee, and to be able to come down and celebrate what a wonderful achievement is quite an honor, and I thank you for having me be a part of this. But I'd like to, again, thank Congressman Mast for his service in Congress, and particularly his service in the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. Our current federal legislation that helps keep us going is set to expire next year, and putting a whole new bill together, I know is going to be a lot of work this coming year, so we look forward to that, and thank you. So today is a very exciting day because celebrating this project is celebrating new access and safety for this community. And it's not just safety and mobility for vehicles, but for pedestrians, bicyclists, and new access for public transit. So the benefits to the community in transportation terms are pretty obvious, but facilities like this also have intrinsic benefits, like just bringing the community out. Once this is open, it's undoubtedly going to encourage people to get out, walk, bike, go access the river. And that's just having that quality of life that a transportation facility like this brings is going to be amazing for this community. When I first assumed this role a little over 5 years ago, signing the record of decision for the NEPA, as part of NEPA on this project was one of my first official actions. And I came in and I learned about this project. And I know this project's been in the plans, the mayor said, for 40 years. So we had our piece of that. And I know there were a lot of concerns about location, environmental impacts, and all those sorts of things. But that's what that NEPA process does, is to solve all that. And when it's done right, and this project was certainly done right, everyone benefits. The environmental benefits that through this project provide to the community and to our natural resources is really tremendous. A lot of times transportation projects, that's my world, are often viewed to be in conflict with our natural resources. It's either one or the other. But like I said, when it's done right, and this project was, everyone benefits. I've talked to my colleagues at the resource agencies, and they have commented to me about the tremendous benefits that this project alone will have on for our natural resources. So that's a terrific win for everyone. Finally, I just want to share a few words about our goals at the Federal Highway Administration that really are exemplified in this project. We have 4 simple goals at the Federal Highway Administration: safety, infrastructure, innovation, and accountability. And our safety is our #1 priority. Our objective is to save lives by working with our state and local partners to implement proven safety technologies. And through federal legislation, we invest about $285 million in Florida's 5-year work program. And this project exemplifies some terrific safety improvements. So unfortunately right now, Florida is one of the leading states in pedestrian and bicycle fatalities. And having a project like this that's going to provide safe facilities for pedestrians and bicyclists helps correct that and turn the numbers in the other direction. Also, I want to make a mention about the intersection at Floresta. It's a very innovative solution, reducing some left turn movements over there. That is going to have a tremendous benefit on both safety and congestion. I used to live in an area where it was a traditional signalized intersection, and they came through and they changed it to eliminate left turns. And the throughput and the reduced congestion is incredible. This is a new facility, so you're not going to necessarily have the before and after, but believe me, when these types of intersections are installed, the improvements are amazing. And I want to give kudos to the team here, because we encourage this kind of innovation, but a lot of times these things are not incorporated into projects because people aren't familiar with them, they're not comfortable with them. So for this team to take the time to learn it and get up to speed and be willing to install this is truly an accomplishment and innovation for this project. So I'm proud to have been a small part of this project, and I can say that the nearly $90 million of federal investment in this project was well invested for this community. So thank you again for having me today, and it's a privilege to be part of this celebration.
Thank you very, very much for your participation. Next up, our senator, former representative, she went to the other house, Gail Harrell.
Well, I'll just take it out. First of all, I want to say thank you so very much to all of you for being here. It's been a long time coming that we have looked forward to being here today. And this is truly a celebration of you, of the citizens of Port St. Lucie. It took a dynamite team to make this happen. These kids sitting over here weren't even born when we started to really get serious about that. And I can tell you, when I was first elected as a brand new House of Representative member, taking the seat of the big shoes of then Senator Ken Pruitt, he was in the House before me, my very first endeavor, I couldn't even find the bathrooms. And I started out really working on this project. And we brought the Secretary of DEP down here to really look at this project because there are a lot of issues going on. Those of you who are back here in 2000, 2001, and that was a game changer. It started the momentum in making sure that the city of Port St. Lucie could use that state land and recoup that state land that had once been Port St. Lucie's. And I can tell you, this entire endeavor would not have happened without Senator Ken Pruitt. Not only did he get the initial money, the seed money that started this, but he was dogged in his approach to this. And believe me, we had a few fights along the way, did we not, Ken? It was quite an endeavor. But without the citizens of Port St. Lucie passing that initiative in 2005, when the voters came out, and 87% of the voters of Port St. Lucie voted for Crosstown Parkway. And I can tell you, that is the defining moment. So give yourselves a round of applause. This would not have happened without the concerted effort of so many people. And I see all these oldie goldie faces here. Everybody from Jack Kelly, Michelle Berger, Pat Christensen. It's just amazing. But the key element that was there this whole time, up until very recently, was Walter England. He was the engineer. When I first moved into my office into Port St. Lucie City Hall, he was the first visitor in my office. I didn't even know where the bathroom was, and he was there. And he came to talk to me about what then was called the West Virginia Corridor. Those of you, everybody remember the conversation on West Virginia? And he came and he just laid it out, and his vision was spectacular. And we're going to cross that vision today. It's going to be the absolute fruition of everything he envisioned. So I think this is an endeavor that we have been in for so many years, and today is the day of celebration. Congratulations, Port St. Lucie!
Thank you so much, Senator. And not only were those kids not born, Vice Mayor and I were 5. Councilman Carballo was either in utero or 0. So it has been a long time coming. If we make the Netflix documentary on the Crosstown Parkway, one of the heroes behind the scenes is going to be our next speaker, Jerry O'Reilly.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Congressman Mast, I'm still thinking about what he said about the hero behind the scenes. Senator Harrell, Mayor Orvac, members of the Port St. Lucie Commission, City Council, Jamie Christian of the FHWA, good morning. It's a pleasure and an honor for me to be here today as the District Secretary of District 4. So the DOT is divided up in 7 geographic areas. You're sitting in District 4. So the DOT, as well as partnering with the FHWA, with the City of Port St. Lucie, with the St. Lucie Transportation Planning Organization. And we're here to celebrate the grand opening of the Crosstown Parkway. I've been involved with this project for many, many years. This project has taken an awful lot of perseverance from many agencies and individuals. If people in the past had have just given up and accepted no as an answer, the project never would have happened. And luckily, people didn't do that. This is the size of project you would typically see maybe the Florida Department of Transportation do versus a city. So there's a special program in the federal government. It's called a local agency program. And this project was built under that guise. Typically, that's meant for sidewalks. But Port St. Lucie is nothing but willing to take on any challenge. I think everybody who's ever been in the commission there was willing to take on a challenge. So while other cities in the state build sidewalks, they look to build the biggest bridge ever built under that program. I dare say it'll never be beaten either. So the DOT's role in this was to bring guidance, oversight, advice. We helped acquire the right-of-way. And I'm sure the city liked all that, but they really liked the money we brought to the project as well. So that helped get it over the finish line. And a lot of people behind the scenes who've been mentioned helped get that money in place. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank and mention a few of the key FDOT staff who've worked on this project over the years. Beatrice Casido is in the audience. Beatrice was deeply involved. Anne Broadwell, Morteza Alian, Christina Fasica, Jeff Leclerc, Chloanne Lawrence, and Diego Velasquez, and many more DOT people helping to make this happen. Our mission at the DOT is to provide a safe transportation system. We want to ensure the mobility of people and goods. We want to enhance economic prosperity and also preserve the quality of our environment and our communities. This project really exemplifies how so many different agencies, both state and federal, can work together and improve safety, improve mobility, and preserve our environment and communities. The project obviously provides a very much needed third connection. It's going to improve public safety. It will reduce response time, enhance mobility. It meets everything that's in our mission statement. I think everybody can agree that the mitigation and the enhancements done in this project are way above anything I've probably ever seen in a project. The Savannah State Park is increased by 100 acres. 3,000 square foot environmental education center constructed. New kayak launch facilities, and the list goes on. Excellent work. So I would like to congratulate the city and everybody involved on the completion of a monumental project. Well done.
Thank you very much, Jerry. You know, as mayor, you're out front on the city, so there's a tendency that the mayor gets the thanks and the praise and the blame also. I think it's my job to take the blame, but really the praise goes to the city council and our team. And in our form of government, our team is led by our city manager, Russ Blackburn, and one of the most important decisions a council will ever make, whether it's a council or a commission, no matter what city you live in, is who it hires as its city manager. And our city council did a great job in hiring Russ Blackburn.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Truly, one of my jobs is the easiest, and that's to thank a lot of partners. And every one of you were partners in making this happen, our taxpayers, our voters. But certainly as you get down to the nitty-gritty, you have to build a bridge. And not only a bridge, but a great bridge that looks really wonderful, Mr. Mayor. And the design that went into it, the engineering, the actual construction. We want to thank some of the folks who are part of that project. Certainly you heard from Jerry O'Reilly, his partner in the Florida Department of Transportation, the Federal Highway Administration we've recognized earlier. We wouldn't have been able to build the bridge without the money to do it. So between the Federal Highway Administration, FDOT, and the voters of the city of Port St. Lucie, that's why we funded what is ultimately a $300+ million project, which is phenomenal. I really love Jerry's comment about most cities do sidewalks, and we didn't. So you'll look around today, our contractor, what's called a design builder, is Archer Western. The most involved project manager for most of the period was a guy named Josh McDermott. Josh, raise your hand. So you heard that the project's taken a while. So when Josh started this project for Archer Western, he was single. He's now married. He wasn't a parent. He now has children. He's starting to get gray hair. Yeah, I mean, it shows you what it takes to have a consistent vision and pursue it over a long period of time. Matt Richard took over from Josh. Thank you, Matt. RS&H designed the bridge. They were the engineers to really pull it all together. Rachel Beck was very involved. Steve Starnes, Vanessa Vitale, and Steve Parks. And thank all of you guys. This was as you go through and you experience this bridge, you'll know it's someplace special and a special part of our county, our city, our community. So I want to really highlight the local subcontractors. Raise your hand if you're here. Ranger Construction, Felix Associates, White Aluminum, Traffic Management Solutions, A Great Fence, Mosley and Son Construction, Solomon Trucking, Precision Contracting, Brevard Trucking, and Sunshine Land Design. So when we think of a big project like this, you always wonder, well, where's the money going? Do some of our local folks get it? This is just a sampling of some of the local folks that are engaged. Our we call it value engineering, our CEI that was on the job every day, advisor to the city, Randy Scott, Etienne Bourgeot. Thank you guys, y'all did a great job. I would sometimes wonder when I was first hired by the city, is Randy an employee or what does he do? Because he was always here and really appreciate that. So Cardno, he's not here, but if any of you have been involved in bridge construction on the Treasure Coast, whether it was the Edison Bridge, Indian Street Bridge, now the Crosstown Parkway, a guy named George Denty, who recently retired, but was just really engaged in this project. And he's kind of one of the signature people. So you can imagine on building a project like this, it's the old adage, you got to break some eggs to make an omelet. So we were breaking a lot of eggs. So there were at least 300 neighbors around the bridge that were all impacted by the construction. So Beth Zonka with Quest Corporation of America really served us to reach out, knock on doors. She knocked on 300 doors, introduced herself, talked to them about the project. Quest Ecology helped us through the very difficult issues going over the North Fork of the St. Lucie River. Our original design, our concept plans, and our advocacy, the project was from American Consulting, Brian Merson. Brian, you're here. And certainly our local agency partners, many of who are represented today, the South Florida Water Management District, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, the Coast Guard. All of these folks, really helped. And we've got folks here in the audience today representing our support partners, folks who, one of the big long-term advocates for the project was the MTPO, Mr. Peter Bookwall. But Peter works for the St. Lucie County Commission and the Port St. Lucie Commission, Fort Pierce collectively. The MTPO as a whole never wavered in the support of the project, and we appreciate it very much. And thank you, Peter, for pushing it very much. And so I have a special thank you, and the mayor and council know this, but as we're getting ready to really start moving in on the ribbon cutting, Archer Weston did a phenomenal job, but there were some little things that we said that could be even better for our city. And we reached out to a partner that we use on a regular basis because we know we can always rely on them, Stuart Fakita, Nature's Keeper Landscaping. So Stuart and his team put out 2,000 bags of mulch from Thursday through yesterday afternoon. Now, if you've ever laid mulch, it ain't good on your back. And so we really thank Stuart and all of his team. Now I want to thank the City of Port St. Lucie employee partner team. Frank Knott was the project manager here every day visiting the site. Jason Easton from our utilities department was the lead for utilities. Heath Stockton is our traffic engineer. Paul Johnson, the signals are not synchronized yet, Mr. Mayor, but they will be, and Paul is the one we're going to look for to make sure that they all work perfectly. Just a little expectation, Paul. John Dutton, John was the one who reached out to Stuart, and we appreciate you guys very, very much. We had just about every employee in the Public Works Department was helping Stuart and his team throw outside and put out mulch. JD, thank you. Thanks for tapping Stuart on the shoulder, JD. Thank you. So now I want to mention the executive project manager, Patricia Roebling. Patricia is the assistant city manager. But she didn't start out as assistant city manager. She was hired as an engineer for the city in 1994. She's worked for the city in multiple different roles, and her role now, as in addition to kind of everything the city manager needs, is to be the executive project manager for Crosstown Parkway. Patricia was right there with everybody yesterday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, making sure we're polished. And Patricia, thank you. We really appreciate everything that you have done. So I mentioned the homes around the project. As you can imagine, we were pouring concrete for the decks. There are 31 decks. Each deck took 16 hours to pour, and that occurred at night. So if you lived by, you saw a halo effect over the Crosstown Parkway location. So we want to really thank all of the residents who gritted their teeth, said, I know something better is coming. We greatly appreciate your perseverance, hanging with us, knowing that your life was disturbed, but knowing there was at the end, there was a rainbow. So thank you very much. So this event was coordinated by your staff, your city staff. The leads on that coordination were Patricia Roebling and Christina Superga. Thank you. And you'll see over 150 city employees in blue shirts around here to help you know what's going on, to make sure that everything is going well. But Christina and Patricia were at it for literally about 9 months straight, making sure we got this ready. So now we'd like to introduce our sponsors. We have a wonderful celebration. None of it paid for by taxpayer dollars. People in the community made donations so that we could really celebrate the opening of Crosstown Parkway like you'd expect, something that happens once in several generations. So Patricia, would you come introduce our sponsors?
Thank you. Thank you, Russ. I'm gonna have to pick this. Can you put that down for me, Mayor? Thank you so much. I'm too short. First of all, good morning. And I just have to say something because I didn't realize this, but thank you, Jamie Christian, for signing our record of decision. Yes! I did not know that was you, so I'm really gonna get to know this guy today. It's my honor to take the opportunity to thank our generous sponsors. Without these sponsors, we would not have done this event. This event is incredible. Thank you to staff for working so hard. Please enjoy the festivities after we do the ribbon cutting and go across the bridge. Feel free to walk, ride across the bridge. It's absolutely stunning out there, and we have all kinds of fun things to do and food trucks available and souvenirs, so please partake of that. But it couldn't have been possible without our sponsors. So I'm going to name not all of them, but I want to do the main sponsors. If you're in the audience, please stand up or wave. Our premier sponsors, our center stage is sponsored by Mattamy Homes. Food and beverage tent is sponsored by Coulter Homes. And this VIP tent is sponsored by Valencia K at Riverland. All right. Our platinum sponsor, American Consulting Professionals. Thank you, Brian. Our gold sponsors, Adams Homes and Sterling Mortgage Group. Church United Treasure Coast. Consor Engineers. Culpeper and Serpentine. Awesome. Elite Electric and Air. You guys were at my house the other day. Family Church, Port St. Lucie. FP&L and Florida City Gas. GC Indoor Sports and Recreation. Hillmore Optical. Mid-Florida Credit Union. Nuncy. Sprint. Vitus Healthcare. All right, and our silver sponsors are Accurate Septic Services, Archer Western, Captech Engineering, Felix Associates, Realtors of Palm Beaches and Greater Fort Lauderdale, and Waste Pro. All right, and a very special thank you to all our other financial and in-kind sponsors. You've done an incredible job, and your kind donations have allowed us to create this incredible event today. Thank you again. All right, so we had a really special thing happen that I have the honor also of bringing up today. I want to recognize our winning artists for the images that wrap our traffic cabinets along Crosstown Parkway, final roadway and bridge construction section that we're celebrating today. The city advertised a contest for a call to artists to wrap our mini traffic and other metal cabinets along Crosstown and received 165 entries. In May of this year, City Council approved 13 ranked winners and 10 unranked runner-ups. I would like to recognize the winning artists in the order in which they were ranked by our Public Art Advisory Board and approved by Council. And I also want to recognize 2 runner-ups as we wrapped cabinets with their artwork. We had a couple extra boxes as well, and they were randomly drawn. So the last 8 remaining runner-ups, the images will be used on other facilities as they are created throughout the city. So they will be recognized as well. So please stand up. I believe you're seated in a certain area. Stand up and be recognized when I call your name. So number 1, first place, Rita Johns. From there, we have Carol Dunst-Hill. Assunta Bailey. Sue Johnson. Andre Ayala. Alexandria Gribble. Casey Adele Hampson. Fiora Fioris. Janice Brown. Floyd Markowitz. Chris Harris. Mike Jenkins. Jacqueline Reynolds. And our alternates, Bob Francis and Nate Portinga. Really beautiful artwork. And so if you're out there roaming around today, check it out. We also have their pictures in here in this tent, so you can see them as well. Thank you very much. Your works of art are incredibly beautiful and enhance the corridor. So thanks again. And now I'd like to turn it back over to our Honorable Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Patricia. Thank you for all of your hard work. You know, today we all stand here on the shoulders of those that came before us, and we owe a debt to them, and we hopefully learned from them and did better because of them. And Patricia was the longtime assistant to Walter B. England III. The Crosstown Bridge is the Walter B. England III Bridge. Once again, let us recognize Kay England and her family, Brent, Beverly, Barry, Ginger, and Jake. Give them a round of applause. Port St. Lucie, are you ready for a big finish? Yeah? Are you ready for one of the biggest celebrations we'll ever have? I'm gonna have to bring it. I mean, I'm gonna have to go full soapbox because this is the biggest party we're ever gonna have. And my friend Brian Mast, he brings it harder than just about anyone I know. I can't let him down. I can't let you down. So in closing, let us recognize that this is one of the biggest days in our city's history. Let us consider that what we're celebrating is much more than a bridge. It's the final piece of a $300 million+ 8-mile Crosstown Parkway, a limited access road built to connect our community from west to east, St. Lucie West in tradition to City Center and US 1. It's an example of how a road building project can be something much more than asphalt and concrete. We preserved 110 acres of environmentally sensitive lands on the river. We completed 4 quality restoration projects. We built a new trail. We put in a canoe access point, the education center that was mentioned. We created a multimodal linear park that will be anchored by a new waterfront park that you'll be able to see from the top of your bridge. It's an investment in our brighter future, a safer, more easily traveled, more prosperous, more connected future. It's a reminder that this better future is only possible because you and our community dared to dream and then stuck with that dream through thick and thin, gyrations of the economy, a depression locally, legal challenge because of champions, council members, and partners who were willing to contribute their blood, sweat, and tears. I didn't see you cry, Ken, but I saw you bleed because our taxpayers said, yes, we will pay for that. And because more than anything, when 89% of our voters agree on something, there's nothing we can't do. Port St. Lucie, be proud of this moment, this project, our city, and your success. Enjoy this moment, savor this moment, and hopefully be inspired by this moment. We need you to be inspired, Jane Rowley, because today, the completion of our Crosstown Bridge is also an invitation to do something more, for our city to be something even more. Today is the culmination of 40 years of effort, and we are reaping a harvest today that was planted in 1980. 40 years ago, our community leaders had the foresight to look into the future and plant a seed. They paid it forward. They did not make it to today. Walter England is not here. Bob Minsky is not here. It's on us to pay it forward. Accordingly, as we celebrate one of our community's greatest successes, let us also think about how we will plant the seeds of the next harvest, about what we're doing now for the Port St. Lucie of 2060, and let us be inspired to do for them what has been done here for us. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for our federal, state, regional, county, and local partners. Thank you, City Council, who I love, and City Team. We did it. So let's go outside and cross the finish line together.